Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. For those of you who are tuning in, can y'all hear me without any issue? Yeah, just a quick yes or no will suffice. All right, thank you very much for the quick yes. All right then, welcome back. We got a new set of press conferences which will feature Team Heretics and Paper Rex. As you can see, Heretics are now beginning to sit down onto the table and answer questions. So, once they get all settled, we'll start the press conference and I'll have my mic muted and all that good stuff. So, be advised though, we're going to have interviews with Neilzinho and Alex after both teams attend the press conference. So, yeah, let's get the show on the road.
Okay, I think we are all set. First of all, welcome to the Masters Toronto post-match press conference. Today we are joined by Team Heretics. Thank you for being here. Well, we are going to start with the press conference. Remember, members of the media, select your name and also the team member that the question is going to be raised. We are going to start with some questions from the media online. Please raise your hand. We have one question for Rasur.
Hello there. This is a question from the VALORANT competitive Reddit community. To Benji Fishy, what is it about VALORANT competitive's ecosystem that made you think this is what I want to do? And what caused at the time was a shocking switch from Fortnite?
I think when I always dreamed of being a pro gamer, I dreamed of playing something like really competitive. You know, when I was younger, I loved watching League. And I think when I was pro on Fortnite, there wasn't the same sort of like competitiveness that I liked. And I just really liked the idea of, you know, being a pro in a game where everything's about competitive and being the best. And obviously Fortnite has that, but it's not the same like sort of system. So yeah, I mean, when Valorant came out, I loved watching the early tournaments, and I mean, I was a big like CS fan. I loved Overwatch, and Valorant's kind of those two games combined. So yeah, I think that's kind of what drew me to Valorant in the end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question is from Chitaku. Chitaku, can you hear me?
Hello. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So Team Heretics, I'm sorry for the last. And my question is for Neilzinho. So my question is, what do you feel was lacking in order to adapt to PaperX style play?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sorry. What do you feel was lacking in order to adapt to PaperX style of play?
Oh, I think this time, obviously, we played them last year in Madrid. I think they were a very different team back then to what they are now. They play with a lot more structure now. I think we just struggled to get in the game. Like we played pretty poorly ourselves, but they also played very well. They have a very explosive team, very strong firepower, and we just couldn't deal with it, to be honest. I think they had a good game plan coming into it. Ours wasn't the best, clearly. And yeah, they played way better than us. They deserve to win today.
Okay, thank you so much, and good luck in the next match.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from Pedro.
Yes, hello guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Well, first off, commiserations on today's match. Obviously, tough way to go down. Hopefully, you guys can bounce back in the next opportunity. I'm going to send this one out to Boo. Mostly talking about what happened in Map One in Pro, and then maybe also like connecting that with the rest of the series. I want to ask you just sort of like how did you view the team's performance and losing 13-1? Obviously, not the kind of performance anyone would want to absorb, but still, like, what do you think was the biggest issues that affected the team, and how did that kind of trickle forward into the rest of the series?
Yeah, we started really slow, and I think like the biggest thing was that it just the aim fights that we had were not even real aim fights. We were like always in wrong positions, on the wrong side of utility. We were not brave enough. We were not coordinated enough. Our fundamentals were bad. So basically, all the fights that happened, they just won most of them quite easily. And when you play like that, there is just no chance you win. Like they're getting 2, 3 kills per round. Like it's impossible to win. So yeah, for sure, like our performance was not even close to our level. Yeah.
Oh, thanks so much. Next question is from Adrian.
Yeah, hi guys. Sorry for the loss. I have a question for Neilzinho. So obviously you mentioned that you had a worse game plan coming in and that PaperX was shooting better than you guys. I was sort of wondering about the prep time. Obviously, you guys have had much less time since EMEA ended weeks after Pacific. I was wondering whether that factored into the game plan at all.
Yeah, probably, to be honest. I think it's quite well known that you don't have as much time to prepare, right? We had a couple of scrims on Peril, one actually, I think. It's not an excuse though, like Boo said, fundamentally we just were completely out of it. So prep time, sure, does it affect it, but like prep time shouldn't affect our fundamentals as a team. It shouldn't affect our communication. Yes, sure, we've had a lot of media and stuff the last couple of days, but PaperX are also in the exact same situation. Yes, maybe they've had a bit more time to prepare at home, but the 3 or 4 days leading up to the game, PaperX have the same situation as us. So it's not an excuse, to be honest. I think like we said, we just played really bad as a team. They played way better than us. Game plan obviously could have been better. That's something that I'll take on board. Myself and Weber will take the blame for 100%. But in terms of like fundamentals, I don't think the prep time affects that at all. So it's I don't even factor in. Like I said, we just did not play good enough to win at this level of an event.
Thanks, and hope you guys bounce back.
Thank you.
Okay, next question is from Shobi.
Yes, hello, Zobi Freelance Esports commentator. My question can go to anybody on the table. I know we heard it in the columns. You guys are obviously going to reflect on the mistakes, but you're focused more on the future and moving forward. So I just wanted to ask, out of the teams that you think are going to be moving forward into the O1 group with you, who do you want to go up against and why?
I don't know who's going to go into the O1 group, but I would prefer not to play against Team Liquid just because I don't want one of the European teams going out Insta. So for me, any team apart from Liquid, for me, to be honest. I think actually, I'll say I want to play against a Chinese team because last time we played against a Chinese team was champs against EDG, and I just enjoy playing against Chinese teams. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say Chinese teams as well. It's fun.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next question is from Jorge.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. For Neilzinho, what is the lesson learned from this game? Will there be major change for the next game?
The biggest lesson is if we play like we did today, we are going to be going home very, very early, and that's not what any of us want. It's not what I want. It's not what the boys want. It's a big kick up the ass if we didn't have one already against Fnatic in the grand finals of EMEA. This is another kick up the ass. In terms of major changes, I think we have 24 hours until the next game like we have tomorrow, and then that's it. So the biggest change that we need to make is our fundamentals and our the way that we play as a team. And obviously myself and Weber will change as much as we can macro-wise to make sure we're more prepared.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to take the last question online. The media on site, please go to the mics. We are going to start with the question here on the room. Last question for Shobi.
Yes, my question can either go to Boo or Neilzinho. PRX had played that Pearl composition only once in a recent non-VCT event. We kind of talked about how you guys might have had less prep time. So I was just curious, how prepared were you for it, and what made it so hard to play against once you actually were in the server?
Which one? First or second?
On Pearl.
Pearl?
I can take it if you want. Are you good?
Yeah, I can take it.
Yeah, I think when I was looking at their games, I think something I told the boys before is they've got 5 different Pearl comps on their last 5 games. So yeah, like you said, it's really hard to predict. A team like PaperX, they can change it up a lot, and we had to focus on ourselves more than them. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it, you know. And like Boo said earlier, the hardest thing, like sure, you can't get a full read on them because you don't know what comp they're going to play. And then also when that's the case, we need to be incredible on our own game, and we just weren't. So that, like Boo said, I just think we didn't have clean aim fights. We weren't in the position to take good fights. We weren't coordinated enough. Yeah, I think we just got caught off a lot, unfortunately. And it was it's really hard to come back when you're getting kind of snowballed like that, you know? You start getting the outs going, and it's very, very difficult. There was some chances. There was a couple of 3v2s, 2v2s. If it goes the other way, we've got a chance of getting back into the game. But yeah, when you lose those, it's really difficult.
Of course, thank you, and good luck in your next match.
Thank you.
Now we are going to take some questions here in the room.
Awesome. Yeah. My name's Shayo from Canada. This is a question for Benji and Miniboo. So specifically, sorry for the loss again, but there were some really cool things that I did still see from Heretics. Benji and Mini, there were some rounds where, Benji, your defensive play was still really good at the highs of this game for your team. And Mini, in those same rounds, you were playing really aggressively at the same time ending the round. When it comes to these really crazy clusters of rounds where there's a defensive play happening and an offensive play happening, how do you guys manage that in the communications? Is there someone leading comms to keep everyone calm, or are you guys just fragging out at your peaks?
I can start. I mean, okay, I don't want to do the whole question, but for me, you know, a lot of the time I have my job to do, and they like Domi has his job to do. My job, normally I'm a little bit quieter because as a Sentinel player, you're solo quite a lot of the time in certain areas, like you need to hold down places, get info. So I just call kind of when I need to, because if I start speaking way too much, if I have like Fortnite comms, then I'm just gonna flood. There's gonna be no space to speak, right? So, yeah, I think I've got my job to do. In general, I'm more quiet than Domi, just because he needs to call for utility. He wants to make plays, whereas I'm most of the time just chill. If there's somebody in my face, I'm gonna shoot them. So yeah, that's kind of my part.
I mean, for the aggressive part, I'm calling the utility and the people I need around to make a play. Sometimes I just focus on my crosser. If I feel that I have timing or no necessity of my team's help. So I think like I'm more vocal on the attacking side because like Benji said, he's most of the time alone and he doesn't require much utility because he has his like utility to play on.
Nice. And just one last question for Neilzinho as well. We saw a nice little funny comedic hover in the beginning of Pearl with a double walls, Viper and Harbor. Are we going to see any crazy things? Is there anything cooking you want to leak over? Keeping things light and hearty now for what's coming up. The crowd went nuts when we saw that hover, so we want to see the special stuff.
I think it was just because they told us that the crowd would see it, so we just trolled a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll see. We've got some stuff planned, but nothing.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Good luck. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we still have some time in the call if someone wants to ask some questions. Okay, if not, thank you, Team Heretics. We have one question for Rasur.
Sure, and this one goes back to Benji Fishy from the Valorant competitive community. What's the story behind your new hair?
There's not any crazy story, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Wu went blonde at Champs, and I was like, damn, he looks pretty cool. So, and he played pretty good at Champs, and other people have gone blonde and have done pretty good. So I was like, why don't I try it? The only major change I've had in my appearance was growing my hair out, growing my mullet. So this is the second change, going blondes, and I like it. So yeah, I don't know, for fun, to be honest. And I thought it would be just a cool idea.
Looks great, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Heretics, for being here with us. And good luck in the next match.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Heretics doing their press conference after losing to Paperettes. Once again, this is Pedro. I'll be live streaming both press conferences following this recent matchup. Heretics did their first, and so Paperettes will follow and do the next one as the winning team, of course. Be advised, though, I will do a one-on-one interview with both Neilzinho and Alex following the press conferences. I'm not sure as to like how that will go down because there are some days in which I do a press conference, like the first one in a given day, and then like the PR people, they send me over to the one-on-one, right around the same time in which the second press conference is happening. So that kind of leads to me not having like recording of the second press conference. Other days, and most recently, I would be doing both press conferences first, and then I would do the one-on-ones with the given teams or given individuals that I was given confirmation with some time ago. So I'm not sure how that's gonna happen. Um, and yeah, for now we're just waiting on PaperX to show up. I believe that is the feed of the camera of the people that are near the press conference area that are going to be meeting with the players and following their media obligations. So we'll see what happens on that. So yeah, just stay tuned, everybody, and I'll let you guys know once we start off again with the entire thing. All right, the PaperX players are getting settled in, so we'll be starting with them momentarily or in a bit.
Hello, everyone. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Está bien.
Guys? Okay.
Está bien. Está bien. No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So uncomfortable with this thing. Why? What?
So,
I hear you.
can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. First of all, welcome back, and thank you for being here, BRX. First of all, thank you and congratulations for your victory.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Now we are going to start with the next press conference. We are going to start with some questions on the call. Please raise your hand, and we are going to start with Shobi. Shobi?
Yes. Hello. First off, congratulations on your win. My name is Zobi, freelance esports commentator. My question first goes to Patman. I just wanted to know, how do you feel about and after your debut match on the international stage? And do you think joining the roster during such a high pressure time in Pacific helped take some of the nerves off in another high pressure match like this one was?
It feels great that it's my debut game in international event, and we win, and the composure of the team is really incredible. And for the pressure, I mean, of course, I really feel the heavy pressure, but right now is what I'm just looking is my teammates, my coach, they're all trusting me and they're all believing on me. So I think that's the most important thing that I need to think about.
Thank you. Congrats again.
Thank you so much. Next question is from Rasur.
Hi, this is a question from the Valorant competitive community on Reddit to Patman. How does it feel to be the first Filipino to attend a Masters event? And what can you say to all the Filipinos who have waited for this moment to come?
I'm the first Filipino, but also I think the second has the Filipino blood. So I think kinda we really has the talent. I think. And for all Filipino fans, thank you so much for all support, especially Filipino here in Toronto. Like I noticed a lot of Filipinos here, and they. Yeah, thank you, for all support, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from Golden.
First of all, congratulations on the victory. I am Golden from G, and my question is for Forsaken. Now, we saw today that you used Astra, and you established yourself as the most flexible player of VCT, using every single agent, not everyone, and every single agent, because right now there are other agents that you haven't picked yet, like Princeton. So we're going to see in your career, for at least for this master, picking these agents like Brimstone.
Maybe for this semester, no, but in the future, for sure, if the meta has changed and the Brimstone buff, I would love to play Brimstone to add for my another agent pool. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now we have a question from the community. We are going to watch a clip on this screen. We want to hear what were your thoughts about this clip. Run the video, please. What you can say about that?
I guess Alex, you're gonna answer it or GG?
I mean, if we have the opportunity, we'll do it again. Yeah, it's fun to knife. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Next question is from Rabia.
Hey everyone, congratulations on the win today. This is Rabia from Esports Insider. My question goes to Alex. You guys dominated the hell out today. My question is, comparing to the previous seasons, one of the biggest differences that we have seen in the composure and is how calm the team is in especially like the tense situations. What exactly did you guys do to achieve this composure in the past few months or so?
We have a very capable performance coach. He's basically in charge of making sure that we are calm in these situations. More or less what we've been doing is like lots of meditation. We're doing different drills, things that create a routine so that we can bring to the Masters event and replicate the same thing. As you can see, I think it works.
Perfect. Thank you so much and good luck for the next game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question is from Pedro.
Yes,
Pedro?
hello.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. First off, congrats on the W. Congrats on the victory. Congrats on moving on to the next round of the Swiss stage. I'm gonna send this one question over to Alex. I mean, we already been seeing it for some time now since the inclusion of Patman, but Mind Freak has been kind of been sitting beside you on the coaching section, either in VCT Pacific or even today in Masters Toronto. So I asked you, like, with his move over to that position, what's it been like just having to have him by his side? Has he been kind of working as like a assistant coach for you? Has he been kind of like transitioning to that phase, or what do you think? And also, like, anyone else in the can kind of chime in on what that situation is like.
Yeah, I mean, he's for the moment he's basically acting as assistant coach. He does a lot of more individual things with the players. So anytime like Jason needs some specific plans or rather like some details tweak, he goes to the player during the scrim itself and talk to them. We have some plans that he made. We didn't really use them today, but we do have like stuff that he's created. Also the fact that he's very very experienced is invaluable for the rest of the team. Like someone that they can go to is basically their big brother. Aside from Dish, so it's always good to have him around. Um, he's still playing a lot, in the situation where I think if one of us cannot play as well as I think we can, he's there to pick up the slack and he's acting as a six-man slash assistant coach basically. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Next question is from Adrian.
Hi guys, congrats on the win. I'm Adrian from the Spike.gg. My questions were Forsaken. The fans want to know what your gym routine is and how has that made you play better in any way?
Push pull legs. Yeah, push pull legs. My that's my basic gym routine. I guess I just do like chest, back, or like leg on like different day.
And sometimes he does German volume training on his legs. But that's his routine basically.
Flex a bit.
Flex.
Don't like that. No. Wait. Huh? Why not? Why not? No. Come on, guys. I flex if we get the trophy.
Okay.
All right, looking forward to seeing that and thank you and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from Shobi.
Yes, Zoe Freelance Sports commentator. This question can go to something Jing or Davey. After the match ended, you all looked like you were truly enjoying the fan interaction, and I heard from some in-person people that the arena was largely favoring PRX. Did that surprise you, and did it help at all, considering this is the furthest most of you have traveled to compete since Champs LA? And do you have a message for any of those fans in Toronto that are supporting you?
I mean, of course, it's nice when you come to the station, you can see a lot of purple jerseys, which is the PaperX jerseys. And thank you guys so much for the people who traveling to, for example, to Toronto from the home from Asia.
Yeah, David speaking. I mean, it's nice to see a lot of our fans here. Like it's been a while since we came for Masters, but it still feels like home, like even we are far away, and it's nice to see you guys here, and hopefully we do better this time for you guys. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for me, like I'm really thankful for the fans for coming here and supporting us. I feel like no matter where we go, we always have like kind of home court advantage because you have so many fans everywhere. So like no matter where we go, we always see paper jerseys everywhere. So I mean, I'm really happy that we have fans from all around the world, and today the fans in Toronto they cheered so loud for us. So very happy for that, and thank you all for the support.
Thank you, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you so much. Now the media in the room, if you want to make some questions, go to the mics, and we are going to start with the questions in the room. Now, next question is.
Apologies, guys. I have to go to a different room because I have to do an interview with I believe Neilzinho. So I have no other choice. I just have to do this real quick. So massive apologies. As soon as I finish this up, I'll be sure to get back onto that. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Neilzinho. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
All right. Can you kind of like scoot over a little bit to your right? Because it's not really centered onto the camera. Yeah.
There we
All
go.
right. That's perfect. All right. All right. Appreciate you giving me the time for this quick interview. I'm kind of live streaming right now, so we're kind of live with that. So I'm gonna get started off with the introduction and all that good stuff. All right.
Sure. Yeah, all good.
Okay. All right. Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview, this time covering VCT Masters Toronto 2025. My guest at this time is Neilzinho of Team Heretics, coming off of their match against Paper Rex, in which they fell 2-0 to thus go down into the second round of the Swiss stage in the loser side. And so, obviously, Neilzinho, a tough way to go down, given how the team had plenty of expectations and pretty decent form coming from the end of VCT EMEA. Still, though, to go down like this, I mean, once the match finished up, what was going through your mind? What were you kind of saying to the team to just kind of try to process this and begin the transition over to the next match?
We haven't actually really had a chance to speak yet. The way these events work is pretty chaotic. We've had about 30 seconds as a team. Everyone gets pulled away for press and then press conference. So we just said, obviously we're disappointed. It's not one person's fault. It's a whole collective issue if you play that badly. Whilst we did play bad, of course, I do think Paper Rex played well. And if you come to this event, an event like this, and you don't perform to your best, you will get torn apart. And that's exactly what happened. We got completely outclassed. So, yeah, that's the whole kind of talk that we need to have together is a much longer discussion than what we have at the event right now. So we'll do a little hot debrief later on at the hotel. We'll probably spend the rest of the night talking about it, to be honest, and just coming up with solutions and getting anything off our chest that needs to get off, and try to get to the bottom of it as quick as we can, because we don't have much time. I think we've got about 48 hours until the next game, and we've done it before. We played poorly against Fnatic in the upper bracket final in the EMEA, and then dropped down to lowers, and we managed to play really well against Liquid. So it's not something that we are new to. It's happened to us before, and I'm confident we can show a much better face in our next game, because we have to, realistically.
No, definitely understand it. And knowing what you guys did last year, you guys definitely have that potential to make that happen as well. I want to look at one of the answers that you gave in the press conference repeatedly, and you mentioned about how the team didn't really have a good read on Paper Rex. I want to ask you for an elaboration on that aspect. But first and foremost, I want to ask you sort of what was the read? The initial read that you guys had, during the preparation phase, from the moment you guys found out that Paper was going to be your opponent, what was that like? What were some of the aspects of the game that you felt like the team could have highlighted, in that phase, and how did that set preparation veer off from the ideal kind of field?
I think we prepared as much as we could have. That was the one thing we had time on, actually, prepping for them. We had a good amount of time for it. They're unpredictable. They've always been unpredictable. Pearl, for example, they played 5 different comps. It's a difficult thing to deal with. You just don't know what they're going to play, but we could obviously take some reads, and we knew there was most likely going to be double duelist. Most likely we were going to have device on Pearl. The problem is it was mostly ourselves. We were poor. Our individual prep was poor. I don't think we showed ourselves at all. So it wasn't really what they did to us. It's more how we dealt with ourselves. How you really need to hear the communication stuff from our end. We were kind of just flat, and we were just one step behind. And Boo hinted to in the rounds, we were just getting shot in the back, and there was no trade. It was just every single fight they were getting was so easy for them. And to watch it back, I think it felt embarrassing watching it from the coaching booth, and I'm sure when we watch it back, it'll also feel embarrassing for the players watching it. It just felt like it was so easy for them, and that's not who we are. So, yeah, it is hard to get a read on them, especially when they've played their last event with Mind Freak, and then they've changed it back for Patman. So again, it's not an excuse. It's even harder for them, right? They have to change players. So their prep was also probably hard, So I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They prepared better than us, they played better than us, and we were really nowhere near good enough as a team. Individually, as a team is the biggest thing. And even on Icebox, I felt like the rounds that we won on defense were just pure I don't want to say luck, but like individual plays or those around with the Gecko defuse. The rounds we won were not the way I want to win rounds. It's just not as a team, individualistic, not a fan. So we've got a lot of work to do.
No, most definitely on that. I mean, I want to ask you just sort of quickly about Paper Rex as a team, and also I want to ask you just sort of out of curiosity the difference between the Paper Rex that you faced back in Madrid last year and the one right now. I mean, looking at this Paper Rex squad, they kind of had to struggle at the start of stage one, and then finally found their form near the end of their playoff run in the domestic side, and then continuing that on obviously onto today. What do you feel was the most important facet that kind of helped Paper Rex play so well, and how do you kind of compare that to the version that you guys faced back then? Obviously, with the inclusion of Pac-Man, in for Mindfreak, and how that kind of like made a different version of the squad.
Yeah, I think comparing them to last year, I'd say last year they were kind of like behind in terms of how they played. I was never a huge fan of it. I think they were very individual last year, and it's like that's where you can get the inconsistency, I suppose. But I think this year they've been, I mean, like you said, they struggled a bit in the playoffs, but I think that's probably down to confidence. I know they were in confidence, and I think they were also probably trying to transition into a different sort of play style. They do still play very free, which I respect, but their team play is a much better. I think they're putting a lot better together. So yeah, it was just a difficult. Like they've still got the crazy individual players, right? And I think that's probably what they've improved on a lot. They've still got the crazy individual skill, but they're playing much better as a team. And we literally fell into the trap of if we're giving them aim fights, and it's one of the teams that will punish you if you give them dry aim fights. So yeah, the one thing that we are known for and that we preach as coaches is the trade potential and making sure every single frag is traded, and making sure we're going together and making sure our timing is impeccable. And that's what you need if you're going to play against Paper X. We didn't have it, and they were just better than us. So yeah, they've improved a lot.
Well, for sure. Going back into your team for this part of the conversation, I want to ask you just sort of like the transition from like EMEA, VCT EMEA, then having to play, I believe, the EWC qualifiers and having to go through that, or maybe you guys didn't have. You can kind of elaborate on that still. But well, how has that transition been like for you guys to go from the end of the domestic season and having to move on to Toronto? Because I believe for a good number of teams, you guys had to make a quite long distance. I mean, sure, you guys have done this before, but how does this like traveling and preparation compare to like the past international events that you guys have been a part of, and having to deal with like all of the fast-paced schedule and the like?
Yeah, it's been very difficult, to be honest with you. Very, very difficult. I think as well, like the fact that EMEA it finished a lot later than the other regions. I hinted it to on the press conference. It's not an excuse, by the way. Like, sure, we had less time, but it's like, we're playing Fracture in the grand final against Fnatic, but then every other team's scrimming Sunset for a couple of weeks. And sure, we are comfortable on it, but you still need time to play the map and see what's changed. And yeah, like small things like that. You're changing map pool, and then we finished in EMEA, so we obviously had a couple of days break. I think it was like 3 or 4 days off or something like that, but then we're straight back into it. And then less than a week later, you are flying to international, and you have to change up all the mistakes that we made in the grand finals against Fnatic. So we're focusing on that. And then, yeah, when you get to these events, there's not much turnaround. We landed on the 3rd. I think the boys got in, some of them about 9 p.m. 4th, you've got media the whole day. 5th and 6th is also kind of like media, features, content. So your practice time here is also very limited, and then obviously we're playing the first day of the tournament at a very early hour compared to most games. So it's not been easy, but again, not an excuse. Paper X are in the exact same situation, so they just handle it better than we did.
And like I said at the start of this conversation, knowing you guys and your past history, you guys are able to bounce back, and hopefully you guys will be able to do that very quickly for your next match, whoever it is that comes against you guys. So either way, best of luck goes to the team, but most importantly for yourself. Thank you so much for the conversation, for the interview, and good luck on the rest of the way.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too, man. Thanks much.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Neilzinho. Finishing up the interview with him. Pretty interesting insight as to what happened in the match against Paper Rex. And I believe the interview with Alex might be coming up very soon. I'm just gonna let the PR people when that will happen. Yes, they said they're going to bring him here, so I don't have to move around the Zoom call. So Alex, this is gonna be coming up real quick. Again, massive apologies for having to cut the Paper Rex press conference short. I had to be moved by the PR people to do the interview with Neilzinho because you got to understand he is moving very quickly. He has to do plenty of conversations and plenty of media stuff before the team has to move on back to the hotel and prep for the next match. So yeah, tough luck on that.
How do you like?
On my bad. Apologies on that once again, but still, stay tuned. We got Alex coming in here very quickly. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream, featuring Paper Rex and Team Heretics. This is Pedro Romero. I'm doing interviews covering Masters Toronto. Is already a much more successful one. I had the chance to, I didn't have a chance to do any one-on-ones with anybody in Thailand, which is a big shame, but nevertheless, there's a lot of media people covering these kinds of events, so obviously understandable on that facet. Still though, I wanted to do one-on-ones for this event and finally got one underway, and we'll get another one coming in very quickly, very soon. Also, a quick heads up, after this interview or after this stream wraps up and we get into the Team Liquid versus BLG pressers, I will do an interview with Camo of Team Liquid, and I give a quick request for like the main players of Team Liquid, and Camo came up with it. He said yes, so I'll be doing an interview with him, assumably after his team's press conference. So stay tuned on that. I'll be starting up another live stream with these two teams in mind. I'll be finishing up this live stream as soon as I finish doing Alex and his interview. So yeah, really appreciate the time you guys have given me. So if there's any kind of thing you guys want me to work on, just send it away in chat. Okay, so again, for those of you tuning in, I'm waiting to do an interview with PRX head coach Alex, following his team's victory over Team Heretics at the start of VCT Masters Toronto. They're going to be moving on to the upper bracket of the phase, moving on to the 1-0 matchup with a chance to move on to the playoffs, for the winning team in that ladder match. So, at the same time, Heretics will be going down to the 0-1 matchup, which is the elimination match. And that will be the time in which the losing team of that match will be eliminated and finish in the basement of the standings in this event. So obviously not really the ideal kind of finish for any team taking part in this event. But nevertheless, that will be the hand that will be dealt to them. And yeah, I'll be trying to live stream all of the matches with whatever opportunity I have. Yes, this is going to be like a 2-week thing, but still, Alex is going that way. So I'm gonna start right now.
Yep, all good.
Hello, hello.
Hey Pedro, how's it going?
I'm doing all right, Alex. Much less good than you. I'm not sure if you were able to understand that, but
I think we're both good, yeah. It's good.
okay. All right. Still though, I got to give my thanks to you for giving me the opportunity for this quick conversation. I will let you know though, you are live. I am live streaming this right now, so just a quick heads up on that. Still though, I'm gonna do the usual introduction and all that good stuff. So we'll just get started right now.
Introduce myself.
If you want, man.
I mean, I'm Alex from VaporX, coach, Molder. Yes.
All right, and that's what he said. And I'm Pedro, back with another interview. This time covering VCT Masters 2025. Obviously, PaperX are coming off of this, defeating Team Heretics at the start of their run in said event, moving on to the next round in said phase and in said event. So, Alex, thank you so much for the time once again. This time in Masters Toronto, and it's obviously one in which starting off on the right foot. Obviously, the kind of result you guys would have wanted to have. So still though, like for it to finish 2-0 in a relatively clean fashion, I would say. I mean, there was one thing to like look at this and say, okay, we might have a pretty difficult cold match on our hands, but it's another thing to kind of like go through this without major issues. So were you kind of surprised that it kind of ended in this way?
Yeah, I guess you could say like it wasn't as close as I thought it would be. I thought it'd be like 3-mapper, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. And like obviously, the tone was set at the start of this first map, 13-1 in Pearl. I mean, everybody kind of like lost their minds, looking at how that match transpired. But like knowing this team and the form that you guys have been on since the end of VCT Pacific is kind of like now not surprising. Still, though, I want to ask you, you're sort of like the game plan, specifically on that map one, going for Pearl. You know, given that Heretics hasn't really been playing that map in recent times, was that kind of like the reason why you guys wanted to go for it and give the surprising pick, or was there any aspect that kind of like contributed to the decision?
Yeah, I mean, when we went back, I think these kind of games are a bit strange because you have a lot of time. So we looked at what we were picking. We knew that Heretics is going to prepare for Lotus for sure because we've been picking that first for a long time, and we thought we didn't really want to go with a map that we have shown too much of in the first map of the event. So we were choosing between Split and Pearl and maybe Ascent. Because I think they run double duelist on Ascent, which is something different that we're not used to. So we were considering that, but I think ended up being a choice between Ascent and Pearl, and we went for Pearl.
And like,
I honestly thought they were gonna run the Jet Euro comp again. So welcome surprise when we saw like single duelist. We were expecting like a lot more like upfront fights.
And so when you saw that the Heretics was going to a different direction, what was your like thought mind process like that? What was your thought process there? Were you like, okay, this might be a much easier a matchup, or what do you think?
I just thought it was good for us because we knew in Impact we play a lot of breach and scrims, so at least we know like, okay, this is what the agent can do. We were quite prepared for that. But definitely surprised us a bit. I honestly really thought they were gonna go double do this. So I think it's helpful to be like, okay, all the anti strats go out the window, and we just have to play the game.
Yeah, and it definitely fared well for you guys in that first map. And then kind of moving on over to Icebox, I want to ask you sort of like the same similar type of question, and knowing what Heretics had in their hand on that map, what do you feel made the difference for you guys to come out of this with a clean victory on that second map?
I mean, I think we all know the pistol rounds, for 4 maps. It's impossible to start strong if you just cannot get a pistol round. I did think we should play defense a little bit better, but I think props to them. They really like dug deep for the attack half. It should have been cleaner for us. I think we lost 2 5v3s when it really mattered. Something of the sort. Sorry, I missed your question. It was how do we I have to repeat your question, sorry.
No, it was more so like your thoughts on like what do you think made the difference in iSpots?
I don't know, to be honest. I honestly think it was just a bit of composure kind of thing. I think they usually have a very good icebox, so I mean it's hard, like
Yeah.
if my team got 13-1 first map of the event, like even if you try to bounce back, it's like the other team sometimes there's just so much momentum. I think that really helped us.
And yeah, definitely helped you for the end of this matchup. I want to backtrack over and just kind of look at how the team has been preparing from the end of Masters or VCT Pacific. Obviously, a good indication of this is just looking at your team's performance on the iSpots. Like you guys have been able to play it 4 times, to 5 today, including right now. And you guys have not really basically stayed perfect, almost perfect, losing to DRX with that one time in the qualifier for like the EWC kind of thing. Just walk me through how you guys have been able to refine your game plan, refine your performance, refine your form, and the many opportunities you guys have been able to have in these events in the lead up to Masters Toronto. How much has that helped this team to be at a much stronger level right now?
To be honest, actually, we haven't had much practice with Patman because he had to go back to do his visa immediately to Toronto and as well as to Korea for the next split. So we couldn't practice him at all, and we had to play EWC. So I mean, obviously, having Mind Freak around is a godsend, right? He's a really, really good player. So it didn't really affect us that much. We just had to switch roles a little bit. But by and large, I think as soon as we finished our stage 1, we prepared for EWC. Like maybe we had like 5 days, something of the sort. Prepared for EWC, played EWC with Mind Freak. That took about 3 or 4 days. And at the time, I think EMEA also just finished. So we had a lot of time to just like watch games rather than like actually practice together. Then we took a short break. We went to a different country together, just like relax and talk about our game. So it was a lot more like talking than anything else. And then we came back to Korea, practiced for about 3-4 days before we flew here. I mean, our goal was mainly to just beat jet lag, and it's still a little bit difficult. We're not sleeping very well, but I think it goes for every team that's not American, like 7 hours difference or 12 hours difference, still jet lag. That's pretty much what happened. We picked some comps we want to change. We did a lot more talking, theory work rather than actually playing. Got here, as soon as we got here, we tried to make sure that we had good scrims, and that was it.
I mean, I'm curious on what you think about this question that I'm going to ask you. Like, obviously, with Mind Freak over into the bench and Patman having to slot into the team, obviously, it's not the same kind of core that all fans are accustomed to and watching for many years. And like in the meantime, while that old core was being successful, you had all of the talk about W gaming and the free form kind of play style. I want to ask you, like, Patman, has that kind of psyche / identity still being present with this form? Now you have to bring in Patman, or is it a different kind of version that fans are accustomed to nowadays?
I mean, I think at the core, since I'm coaching, it's going to be a specific way of playing. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be as exciting as we can make it to be. I think we genuinely enjoy like messing around the server and trying to be as like we like to end the rounds fast. It's not going to change. But I mean, with different players come different things that we can do, right? Different Pat has different strengths and weaknesses than Mind Freak. Based on agents that you can play, based on like what the other players need to play. So it will look a bit different. But by and large, I mean, between me and Mini's help and Mind Freak's help, we will create a system that we think works. It is exciting, and hopefully fans still enjoy.
For sure. One more question. Obviously, like it was kind of mentioned in the press conference about the last time you guys being here in North America. That was in Champions 2023. Obviously, you guys finished in runners up, losing to EG in the grand finals. I want to ask you just sort of now that you're back in North America, what do you feel is like the potential for this team in this competition?
I mean, we would like to win the trophy, but we're well aware that it's like I think this tournament is really stacked. I think it doesn't matter what masters or champions we go to. Our goal is always the same. We try to remove the expectations from ourselves, do our best. But if we can hit top 4, that would be satisfactory for us. I usually think that these kind of tournaments, it really comes down to sometimes like form, read on the meta, like good prep, a little bit of luck. Like for example, today we had like a Sova drone that attacked 2 players. That is very rare in pro scene, and just nice we were gonna use a Sova ulti as well. So these kind of rounds really change the game. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. So we usually have a very relaxed attitude about it, but we'll try our best.
Sure, you guys will definitely be doing that. Alex, thank you so much for the opportunity, for the interview, for the conversation. Really do appreciate it. And best of luck goes to you the rest of the way, man.
Thank you. See you.
See you, man.
Thank you. Very open.
All right. That was Alex of Paper Rex finishing the interview with him. And I'm going to be finishing this live stream right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll be sure to post the recordings of both interviews with him and Neilzinho into the channel very quickly, and also the recording for the PRX presser as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one in a few hours for the TL versus BLG presser. So see you guys later.